Hi everybody, my name is Sam Pedro and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discovering Discworld. I just finished this book right here, Equal Rites, which is the third book in the Discworld series, and I'm going to summarize it today and share a few thoughts about it. And if you're new to this channel or to any of my videos, this is a series called Discovering Discworld, where I'm going to read every book in the Discworld series and do a video about each one. And so far, I've read 6 books in the Discworld series. This is book number 3 as far as chronological order, and this is my 4th video about Discworld, so I have 2 more I need to record and upload. But let's talk about this book here, Equal Rites. So as I mentioned, this is book number 3, and it is way different than the first 2 books. So it is way different than The Color of Magic and The Light Fantastic. But I loved it. I like it way more than those first 2 books. And so a quick summary is it's about a young girl named Esk, and the book starts off with her as a baby, and there's a wizard who's about to die, and he's going to look for someone to pass on his wizard staff and kind of his wizard powers and magic to this next person. And he's being led, and he comes to this small village and basically hands over his staff and his powers to a baby. But what he doesn't realize is that it isn't a boy, it's a girl. And in Discworld, girls can't be wizards, girls are witches. A woman can never be a wizard. And so he sees his mistake, but it's too late and he passes away. But he is basically handed a wizard's staff and wizard magic to a young baby girl. We then catch up with her in the book when she's 8 years old, I believe. And so we get to learn about what it's like living in this rural village as a young girl in Discworld. And this young girl, Esk, has a grandma who is a witch and who she spends a lot of time with. And the grandma was there when the wizard staff was handed to her. And so she knows that Esk has some magic abilities. And so she's kind of there looking to look out for her and to train her in the ways of magic. And she quickly notices that Esk is a very special girl. And at some point she realizes she needs to take her to the Wizard University, Unseen University, which is in Ankh-Morpork. So they leave on this great journey to places they've never been, leaving their small, tiny village in pursuit of going to Unseen University in the big town of Ankh-Morpork. And that's basically the setup of the plot for this book. Now, a few thoughts about Equal Rites. The first thing I'll say is the characters. And I'm comparing, book 1 and 2 to this book. I don't feel like the first 2 books really had that strong of characters. I mean, we get introduced to a lot of interesting people like Rincewind and Two Flower, and some of the wizards and Death. Like, these are memorable characters, and I could say things about them, like Two Flower's kind of naive and Rincewind is kind of this goofy, out of his luck wizard. But other than that, like, there's really no character development. But that totally changes with Equal Rites. Esk is a strong character. This is Esk's story. We get to learn about her. We get to see things through her eyes. The grandma is also a very strong character who has some development along the way as she is trying to help her granddaughter get respected for the power and the magic that she has. And so I loved both of these characters. I think they're super well written, and I love that we get to see it from their perspective, and we get to follow their journey as they try to get to Unseen University. But with these strong characters, you get less of Discworld. And what I mean by that is that in the first 2 books, you get introduced to a whole swath of characters from different groups of people. You get a lot of settings, and you get to really explore Discworld. Whereas in this book, it's more narrow. It's mainly about witches and wizards, and so you learn more about the history between these 2 groups of witches and wizards and what they believe. And then a big portion of the book takes place in Unseen University, so you get more detail there. But I really liked that. I liked being able to learn about a very specific part of Discworld and to learn more about them. I really like this book. I think this book is much better than the first 2 books. And it's quickly becoming one of my favorite of the 6 I've read so far. I would say Equal Rites and Going Postal are my favorites so far. I really enjoyed it. It was fun to read. I had a lot of fun with it. Let me know below, have you read Equal Rites and how do you like it? Maybe in comparison to the first 2 books. But thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.